Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's matchup at Ursuline College between the Edison State Chargers and your Bryant Stratton Bobcats. Bryant Stratton College and the NJCA promote good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and fans. We request your cooperation in supporting the student athletes and officials in a positive manner. Profanity, derogatory comments, or other intimidating actions directed at athletes, officials, team representatives, or other fans will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal. We appreciate your cooperation in creating a safe and positive game environment. Respect is the name of the game. Today's officials are Brian D'Angelo, Matt Brown, and Danny Bermudez. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a country with freedoms like no other, so let's please rise and remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem. And now let's meet the starting lineups. First, for the visiting Edison State Chargers. At guard, number 1, Taiwan Hall. At forward, number 3, AJ. At guard, number 4, Montana Cottrell. At guard, number 5, Jacob Reed. And at guard, number 10, Jesse Dixon. The Chargers are coached by Kyle Hanover with assistant coaches Craig Machino and Mark Eustich. And now the starting lineup for our Bryant Stratton Bobcats. At guard, number 0, Tariq Roper. At guard, number 1, Jalen Barnes. At guard, number 22, Jalen Terrell. At guard, number 23, Larry Reynolds. At guard, number 55, Perry Fulham. The Bobcats are coached by Dwayne Morrow with assistant coaches Corey Milbert and Kyle Jefferson. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Bryant Stratton Bobcat basketball!
Hello everybody. That was the sultry voice of assistant baseball coach Caleb Swisher and voice of the Bobcats. I'm Ryan Bliss, Bryant Stratton Sports Information Director. I'll be calling the game for you today. Bobcats coming in on a roll. They've won 3 straight. Took care of LC. It's Lorain County Community College, and then Clark State last week. Had Owens earlier this week that they were able to take a win from on the road. So they are 3-0 currently in the OCCAC Conference. They've got Edison State tonight. Unfortunately, we won't have live stats today, so I'll do my best to try to keep you in the know. I can get points at the end of the first half. Our live stats guy Sal couldn't make it today, so no live stats, but that's all right. Bobcats get the tip. Perry Fulham brings it up the court, gets to Jalen Barnes out here on the wing. Barnes, reigning player of the week. Barnes cuts, back out to Roper. Roper, back out to Barnes. Barnes for three. Got it! Jalen Barnes continues to be the hottest man on the planet from behind the arc. He gets the Bobcats on the board early. Jacob Reed brings the ball up the court, guarded by Tariq Roper. Sends it to number 1, Taiwan Hall. Hall up top to number 4, Montana Cortell. Here's number 10, Jesse Dixon with a 3 of his own to tie the ball game up. 3-3 apiece. Barnes on a breakaway, goes up with the right hand and puts it in for 2. Barnes with a quick 5 points to start here for the Bobcats. He's been their leading scorer all week. Number 3, Jordan Howard with a 3, and he knocks it down. So fast-paced basketball game here to start things off between Bryant and Stratton and Edison State. Here's Roper across the timeline over to Fulham, far side wing, back up top to Barnes. Barnes back to Roper here near side, back to Fulham. Fulham looked like he walked with it, but it wasn't called. He's guarded by number 5, Jacob Reed. Out to Jalen Terrell. Terrell knocks down a 2. Number 3, Jordan Howard, cherry pick on the other end, can't put it in. Larry Reynolds pulls down the board. Reynolds coming back the other way. Has Barnes in the corner. Risky pass there. Barnes able to handle it. Brings it up top. Back up to Roper. Roper will set up the offense, guarded by Reed. 15 on the clock. Perry Fulham for 3. Little long. Rebound Taiwan Hall. Taiwan Hall bringing it up. Jalen Barnes all over him. Bobcats like to run that in-your-face kind of right on top of your defense. Leads to a lot of turnovers. As you can see, Perry Fulham all over Montana Cortell. Cortell dribbles. Comes to near side, cuts. That's gonna be a foul on Perry. Got a little bit too much action with the hands. That'll be Perry's first, team first.
Fouls on number 55, Perry Fulham.
Ball's inbounded by Hall. Back out to Cottrell. Number 1, Hall. Cottrell from the wing. 10 on the clock. Back up to Hall. Hall working on Roper. Step back 3. No good. Hit the wire. That'll be a Bobcat basketball. Good defense there by the Bobcats. That was the best look the Edison Chargers were able to get on that possession. Time expiring. Just couldn't get anything inside. Roper brings the ball up. He's guarded by Reed. I'm sorry. That's Fulham with the ball. Now Roper has it. Has it stolen away by Hall. Hall going the other way. Lays it in for 2. Barnes into Fulham, coming quickly the other way, trying to get him in transition. Fulham gets picked up by Reed, hands it off to Roper. Roper, far side wing, working on Cottrell. Calls for a pick from Terrell, gives it to Fulham out wide. They get Jalen Terrell, feet were moving on the pick. So that'll be Terrell's first, team second. Ball inbounded to Cottrell, picked up immediately by Fulham. Working down the sideline. Gets it across the timeline. Cottrell a little bit stuck. Finds Reed. Far side wing. Barnes on him. Pick set. Ball's thrown to Cottrell, who just manages to keep the feet inside. That was number 10, Jesse Dixon with a 3 from up top. It goes off the wire again, so Bobcat basketball. Bobcats in the white and blue. Working from left to right on your screen. Chargers in the yellow. Larry Reynolds from the corner. Cuts baseline out to Terrell. Terrell pump fake. Pulls up for 2. Can't get it to drop. Ball rebounded by Jacob Reed. Jordan Howard went up with the 2. He gets hacked by Tariq Roper. That'll be Roper's first, team third.
Bryant Stratton fouls number 0, Tariq Roper.
Howard will go to the line to shoot 2. First free throws of the ball game. Chargers up 8-7 over the Bobcats here early in the first half. First one's no good. Second one's off the mark as well. Jalen Terrell pulls down the board. Here comes Perry Fulham, looking at a sea of yellow, cuts down the lane, puts it up, no good. Just couldn't get it over the top of the rim. Looks like Perry's got a tight hammy. Maybe he got plunked. He's calling for a sub.
Edison State fouls number 4, Montana Cottrell.
That's not good. Perry's gonna have to. He's gonna limp over to the bench. I think he's got to shoot the free throws though. Yeah, so Perry will line up to try to shoot 2. Another one of the exquisite free throw shooters on this Bobcat team. First one's up, off the mark. Perry lines up the second. Knocks this one down. His sub will come in for him. This will be Carlos Castro coming off the bench for his first action of the ball game. Perry will go see Bobcat athletic trainer Mike Gittner. This is 15, Devontae Curry into the ball game. Gets it back to Taiwan Hall. Taiwan Hall cuts down the lane. Hands back to Curry. Up top to Cottrell. Cottrell. Back to Curry. Curry. Larry Reynolds on him. To Cottrell on the far side wing. Working on Roper. Cottrell pulls up from top of the key. Can't get it to drop, but rebounded by Hall. Hall will go back up with it. This one's good. The Chargers hit double figures, 10-8 over the Bobcats. Jalen Barnes coming up far side. Barnes already with a quick 5 points here for the Bobcats. Gets it to Castro here near side. Castro dribbles up top. Working on Dixon. Over to Roper. Roper for 3. Front iron, no good. Rebounded by 15 Curry. Ball's on the floor. Picked up by Cottrell. Cottrell finds Dixon. Dixon for a spot up 3. Got it. A little pause in the action as the net got stuck. We're good to go now. Roper inbounds to Barnes. Roper with it up top. Castro, spot up. Pulls up for 3. Front iron, no good. Rebound Dixon. Gets it to Cottrell. Here come the Chargers. They're going to push the ball. Number 3, Jordan Howard went up with the layup, but wasn't able to get it over top the rim. He's getting fouled by number 5, Carlos Castro. Whistle came a little bit late, but Castro called for the foul. That'll send 3 Howard back to the line. Howard's first one's good. He'll have one more. Knocks this one down as well. Number 33. Elias Richardson will check in now. He comes in for Howard for the Chargers. Roper with the ball, working on Cottrell. Gets it across the timeline, gets Barnes popping out. Back up top to Castro. Castro back to Roper. Roper cuts down the lane, sends it cross court to Larry Reynolds. Reynolds for 3, got it! Larry Reynolds knocks down a 3-point shot from the corner. Bobcats trail 4, 15-11. Chargers on the other way. 3-point basket by number 15, Devontae Curry is no good. Rebound Carlos Castro. Castro pushing the ball the other direction. Gets it to Roper. Roper being forced to go right by Cottrell. They don't want the ball in Barnes' hands. He gets it anyway. He's guarded by number 1, Taiwan Hall. Looks like the Chargers are trying to put some size on Barnes, see if they can lock him down. Gets it up top to Terrell. Terrell pulls up. Can't find the mark. Rebound Larry Reynolds. Bobcats with a fresh 20. Out to Barnes. Barnes for 3. Can't get it to go. Curry comes down with the board. Chargers coming quickly the other way. Curry has the ball picked. Larry Reynolds on a breakaway going the other direction. Pulls up for 2 and it's good! Reynolds and a foul!
Edison State fouls number 15, Devontae Curry.
That foul's on 15, Devontae Curry. That'll be the second team foul on the Chargers. Larry Reynolds will go to the line to shoot 1. Just hit a 3 from the corner, looking to get 3 the hard way here for the Bobcats. Make it a 1-point basketball game. Reynolds knocks it down. Chargers 15, Bobcats 14. Chargers coming the other way. Out to Curry. Curry with Terrell on him. Sends it across to Hall. Travel! Hall shuffled the feet before he put the ball on the floor. Bobcat basketball.
Timeout, Edison State.
Edison State calls their first timeout of the ball game. As I mentioned, no stats for you today, unfortunately, but I'll get them for you at halftime. I know Reynolds has at least 6, and Jalen Barnes had the first 5 points of the basketball game for the Bobcats. Perry Fulham back on the bench. Looks like he'll be ready to check back in. There he's taking the tape off his hands. Maybe not. He might be done for the day. Ball inbounded to Roper. Here come the Cats. Cottrell on Roper. Edison State still working in a man defense. Larry Reynolds at the elbow. Drives on the paint, puts it up with the right hand. Can't get it to drop. Dixon comes down with it. But Terrell was able to wrap him up. It'll stay with the Chargers, however. Ball's inbounded. Bobcats add a little pressure. Here's Hall with it, working on Castro. Looked like a carry to me, but didn't get called. Curry from the corner. Back up to Cottrell. Cottrell working on Roper. Looks for a pick. Dixon sets it. Rolls out. Back over to Hall, far side. Hall down to Curry. 9 on the clock. Curry on Larry Reynolds. Reynolds is going to get called for the reach. Didn't need to do that. Tried to go over top the pick set by number 13, Abdullah Jallo. I'm sorry, that's number 33, Elias Richardson. Tried to go over top the pick, ended up reaching in for his second foul of the ball game. Dixon with the ball now, 15 on the clock. Out to Cottrell. Cottrell from the elbow, passes it up, down to Richardson. Richardson working on Terrell. Back up top to Cottrell. Cottrell cuts down the lane, puts it up at the buzzer. Can't get it to go. Ball's rebounded by Richardson, however. Out to number 5, Jacob Reed. Reed for 3. In and out. Roper comes down with it, working the other way with Barnes. Barnes cuts under the basket, back up top to Castro. Castro for 3. Shooter's roll! Gets it to go. Carlos Castro with a 3-pointer from the wing. Bobcats take the lead, 17-15, 12 left to play here in the first half. Hall up top, working on Reynolds, good move. Down to Richardson, who lays it in for an easy 2. Good bit of dribble in there by Taiwan Hall. Castro quickly the other way, can't get it to drop. Larry Reynolds comes up with the rebound, fights through some arms. No good, Jalen Terrell has it tipped away. Ball comes up in the hands of Hall. Hall dribbling the other way, stuck in the corner, up top to Cottrell. Cottrell guarded by Reynolds. Reynolds wants to make them go left. Gets it to Dixon. Dixon over to Reed, far side. Reed comes off a pick, pulls up from the elbow, gets it to go. Now Jacob Reed with another 2-pointer. Barnes with the ball now. Ethan Sokolowski set the check in for the Bobcats. Barnes hands it off to Roper. Roper dribbles around up top, hands off to Castro. Castro brings it back over, swings it to Barnes. Barnes cuts down into the baseline. Dribbles all the way back up top, 7 on the clock. Good dish to Terrell, lays it up and in. Jalen Barnes with a no-look bounce pass from the free throw line to Jalen Terrell, who lays it in for an easy 2. Good cut, good pass, Bobcats get a bucket. Tie ball game 19-19. Cottrell working on Roper, cuts down the lane. Lays up the floater, but it's rejected by Jalen Terrell. Here come the Bobcats. Roper hands off to Barnes. Barnes goes up with a left hand for 2. Baseball pass to half court to Dixon. Dixon picked up by Barnes. Dixon down to Richardson. Gets a shooter's roll, it falls in for 2. Tie ball game once again, 21-21. Bobcats Chargers evenly matched here, 10 to go in the first half. Barnes here near side. Hall on him. Comes off a pick, cuts down the lane but gets fouled. Lays it up but won't get the continuation. Bobcats will have the ball on the baseline.
Edison State fouls number 10, Jesse Dixon.
Ethan Sokolowski will check in for Larry Reynolds. Carlos Castro will take the ball out of bounds. Gets it to Barnes, cutting down the lane, lays it up for an easy 2. Good developing play there by the Bobcats. Barnes just came off a pick and rolled all the way down to the basket and was able to lay it in with the left hand. Curry guarded by Sokolowski. Curry pulls up from 3, gets it to go. Sokolowski looked for a switch, and whoever was setting it did not, so Curry with an easy 3-point basket. Castro brings the ball up, guarded by Reed. Out to Barnes. Barnes far side. Cuts. Step back 2. Gets it to go. Jalen Barnes with another basket. Barnes once again the focal point of this Bobcat offense, and it doesn't seem like there's anything really the Chargers can do about it. Cottrell cuts down. Curry top. This one's no good. It'll go out of bounds and get turned over to the Bobcats. So Devontae Curry had another wide open 3-pointer. Caught back iron with this one. It goes out of bounds. Bobcats will have it. Down to Roper. Roper here, far near side. Back to Barnes. Barnes standing at the top of the key. Working on Hall. Sends it to Castro. Castro far side. Pulls up for 3. It's good! Carlos Castro with a pull-up 3-pointer. Todd James is checked in for the Bobcats. Hall with the ball up top. Guarded by Barnes. Cuts down the lane. Finds number 14, Isaiah Phillips, for a 2-point basket. Castro brings it up, has James running on the other side. James tries to lay it up with the left hand, but it's knocked out of bounds. Good look there by Castro. Number 40, Julius Van is going to check in for the Bobcats now. Van immediately gets the ball in the corner. Dribbles up top. Curry's on him. Gets it to Barnes. Barnes guarded by Hall. Has a decent cushion. Barnes will shoot it from there. Barnes from the top of the key. Can't get it to drop. Sokolowski on the board. Hands it back to Barnes. Barnes tries to get it to Van, but it gets tipped away. That's 14, Isaiah Phillips in the mix. Number 22, Javon Little. Can't get it to go. And then number 3, Jordan Howard comes down with the board. Can't get the follow. Barnes able to pull down the rebound. Bobcats up 28-26. 8 minutes to go here in this first half of basketball. Been an exciting first half so far. Carlos Castro cuts down the lane. It won't fall. They got him for a charge anyway. Castro with a good cut. Tried to lay it in. Ends up being called for the foul. Looks like Roper's going to check back in now. Roper comes in for Barnes. Give him a breather. Reynolds is going to check in as well. Reynolds comes back in for Todd James. Hall gets the ball inbounded from Phillips. Working on Castro. Far side wing. Doesn't use the pick. Backing Castro down. Has a little bit of a size advantage. Fade away 2. No good. Castro comes down with the board. Gets Roper. Roper running the other way. Roper goes up in traffic with the left hand. Draws the foul. He'll go to the line.
Edison State fouls number 3, AJ.
Number 0, Tariq Roper will go to the line for the Bobcats now. Roper shooting 90% from the free throw line. Knocks down the first one. Love to see him cut into the basket there, too. That's part of his game that he's really worked on. Didn't see a whole lot of that out of Roper last year. He's more of a spot-up shooter, kind of a pass-first sort of mentality. This year he's been much more aggressive going to the hoop, draws fouls, goes to the free throw line, and has been money from there. Phillips inbounds to Hall. Hall coming the other way. Guarded by Larry Reynolds. Picked up by Sokolowski on the switch. Sokolowski all over him. Dishes to Curry. Curry has the ball tipped away. Roper comes up with it, lays it up with the right hand. Can't get it to fall. Great hustle defense. 2-point basket from Phillips. That's Anthony Cook Jr. came in, made that save, tried to get it to Tariq Roper, who couldn't convert. Cook Jr., another guy that's provided a spark off the bench for the Bobcats. Reynolds cuts down the lane, pulls up from the elbow, gets it to drop. Good move there, Larry Reynolds. Good shot from the elbow.
Larry Reynolds.
Number 1, Taiwan Hall with the ball. Reynolds picks him up, trying to cut off that right hand. They can use the left one. Hall cuts down the lane, cuts up top. Over to 22, Jalen Little. I'm sorry, Litton. Jaden Litton knocks it down. BSC with a 1-point lead, 32-31. Castro with the ball. Sends it to Reynolds down in the corner. Reynolds guarded by, or gets it to Roper. Roper, good move. Goes up with the left hand and lays it in. Nifty bit of dribble in there by Tariq Roper to get to the hole and lay it in for 2. Bobcats will call a timeout. Bobcats with a 3-point lead here, just over 6 minutes left to play in the first half, 34-31. Seen a good rotation so far out of the Cats. Coach Dwayne Morrow getting some fresh legs in there to keep up with the high pace sort of offense that both teams like to run. Edison likes to get up and go, as do the Bobcats. So we've seen some minutes from Van, some minutes from Sokolowski. Cook's been in the mix. Barnes comes back into the ball game. Carlos Castro will get a breather. Phillips inbounds to Cottrell, back into the ball game for the Chargers. Gets it to Curry. Curry picked up. Larry Reynolds tips it away. Reynolds coming the other way. He's got Cook with him. Reynolds goes up with the left hand and lays it in. Reynolds off to a good first half of basketball here for the Bobcats. Cottrell swings at the other side. Phillips back to Curry. Curry from the wing. Can't get it to go off of Phillips. Sokolowski comes up with the ball, gets it to Barnes quickly. Barnes with a full head of steam to Reynolds. Reynolds with the right hand. Can't get it to go. Grabs his own board, puts it up with the left, and gets it swatted away. Curry comes up with the ball, gets it to Cottrell. Cottrell guarded by Roper. Sends it down the floor to Phillips. Phillips back to Cottrell. Cottrell cuts the lane back to Phillips from the corner. Short. Rebound by Barnes. Barnes coming quickly the other way. He's got Cook Jr. and Sokolowski. Gives it to Sokolowski, who can't get it to go, but draws the foul on Cottrell. Cottrell can't believe it. He didn't touch him. He did. About pushed Sokolowski right out of bounds.
State foul number 4, Montana Cottrell.
Sokolowski will go to the line. His first free throws of the night. Gets the first one, does not fall. Looked like it fell from here, but it was on the far side of the rim. Sokolowski will shoot one more. Bobcats with a 5-point lead now, 36-31. Can't get the second one to go either. Rebound by Dixon. Edison State coming the other way. Cook Jr. picks up Dixon. Dixon, pull up from the elbow. Rolls no good. Larry Reynolds gets the board. Gets it to Barnes. Barnes slows it down a little bit. Working on Curry. Hands it off to Roper. Roper on Hall. Roper cuts. Dishes to Sokolowski. Sokolowski right to the hole. Can't get it to drop. Dixon comes down with the board. Up front to Curry. Curry pulls up on Roper. 3 points no good. Down in the corner now. Out of bounds. Bobcat ball. Dixon not able to save it. in the look in the camera bag. I think there's another one. Or Autumn. If there's not, just hit the camera button and go back to the beginning and delete all the ones in the front. .442 left to play. Bobcats still up 5. Jalen Terrell set to come back in. He'll enter for Sokolowski. Reynolds inbounds to Roper, and here come the Bobcats. Reed back into the ball game, picks up Roper. Roper hands off to Cook. Cook sends it to Barnes. Barnes up top, guarded by Hall. Barnes trying to find an opening. Gets the ball poked away. Hall comes up with it. Barnes pokes it back away, but knocks it out of bounds. It'll be a Charger ball after the inbound. Ball's inbounded to number 1, Hall. He's guarded by Roper. Good cut, gets down the lane, lays it up with the right hand. Doesn't drop. Roper comes down with it. Forward to Barnes. Barnes working on Reed. Good spin move, lays it up left hand, and it's in! What a move by Jalen Barnes! Roper gets the inbound pass, tips it away, but Edison State remains possession. Wow, what a play by Jalen Barnes. That kid has been absolutely electric the last week of basketball. Roper with a great look to find him streaking down the floor. Here's Hall from the wing. Gets it in for 3. Terrell inbounds to Barnes. 3:30 on the clock. Bobcats up 38-34. Roper with it on the wing. Nobody on his right side. Looks to cut. Uses a pick. Hits Terrell on the roll. Terrell puts it up with the right hand, but he's fouled. He'll go to the line. Dixon about knocks his head clean off.
Edison State fouls number 10, Jesse Dixon.
Terrell will go to the line to shoot 2 for the Cats. Couple of substitutions coming in for Edison State. Guess not, just 1. Terrell knocks down the first. Montana Cottrell checks back in for Dixon. Terrell will line up the next one. Terrell knocks it down. Bobcats lead up to 6 now, 40-34. 3:20 left on the clock. Hall with the ball. Working on Reynolds. Hall cuts down the lane, lays it up, right hand, gets it to go. Reynolds gets it in quickly to Roper. Roper in a hurry, coming the other direction. Working on Cottrell. Good bit of dribble in there by Roper. Gets down the lane, back out to Reynolds. Reynolds wide open 3, knocks it down. Larry Reynolds. Hits another for the Bobcats. Picks up Hall in the backcourt. Hall gets it across the timeline up to Reed. Reed working on Barnes. Comes off the pick. Up to Cottrell. Cottrell back to Hall near side. Hall down the lane. Jalen Barnes right in his face. Jalen Terrell right in his face. Ball hit the top of the backboard though. It'll be Bobcat ball. Good bit of help defense there by Terrell to make that shot tough. Hall had to fade away with it instead of going up tall. Couldn't get it to drop. Bobcats take over. 2:30 on the clock. Bobcats lead 43-36. Barnes working with it. He's got Hall on him. Cook Jr. cuts, top of the lane. Puts it up right hand. Gets it to go. Good move, Anthony Cook Jr.
Anthony Cook Jr.
Cottrell in a hurry the other way, working on Roper. Howard set a pick and rolled, but Cottrell couldn't find him. Here's Hall with the ball now, guarded by Reynolds. Hall cuts. Roper tried to pick his pocket, left Cottrell wide open. Cottrell pull up. No good. Rebound by Terrell. Terrell with the ball, gets it to Roper. Roper coming the other way, lays it up left hand. That should have been goaltending. It went off the board. No call. And the Chargers get an easy basket on the other side. Should have been goaltending on that end. Roper got it off the backboard before it was blocked. Barnes picks up his dribble. Cook Jr. comes to help out. Guarded by 24, Landon Henry. Landon Henry. Larry Reynolds, pull up, front iron. Rebound by Reed. Here come the Chargers. 1:15 on the clock. Reed with a good spin move. Picked up by Terrell. Back out to Cottrell. Cottrell for three. Rebound by Terrell. He'll go to the free throw line here. He's fouled by 24, I think. I think Landon Henry had that foul. Henry will take a seat. Number 33, Elias Richardson, checks back in. Now Bobcats up 45-38, just over a minute left to play in the first half. Terrell gets the first one to go. A much improved free throw shooter this year. He's shooting up around 80% from the line for the Cats. Knocks down the second as well. Bobcats lead now up to 9, 47-38. Hall with the ball, guarded by Larry Reynolds. Hall cuts, nothing working, still with the ball. Gets it to Cottrell, under a minute to go now. 15 on the shot clock. Cook Jr. tied him up. Cottrell ends up with the ball. He's rolling around on the floor. They call a jump instead of a travel. It'll be Bobcat ball either way. Jarick Roper set the check back in. He'll come back in for Anthony Cook Jr., who gave the Bobcats 5 very good minutes off of the bench. Carlos Castro checks in as well. Bobcats with 4 very good three-point shooters on the court right now. Roper has the ball, knocked away by Cottrell. Cottrell working on the baseline. They get Roper for a block as Cottrell jumped into him trying to get a foul, trying to get the ball off of his leg at least.
Bryant and Stratton fouls number 0, Tariq Roper.
So Roper called for the foul. Cottrell will go to the line now to shoot 1-1. Cottrell gets the first one to go. He'll shoot one more. Bobcats hoping to get a couple quick baskets here. That one's no good. Rebounded by number 3, Jordan Howard. Howard gets it back out to Cottrell with 20 seconds on the shot clock, 30 on the game clock. Cottrell comes off a pick, gets it to Reed. Reed down the lane, back out to Hall. Hall for 3, good. 20 to go, shot clock's turned off. Barnes with the ball. Bobcat lead cut to 5 here in the waning seconds of the first half. 10 on the clock now. Barnes looking for the last shot. Down to 5. Barnes looking to make a move. 3. Barnes pull up 3. No good. That'll do it for this first half of basketball. Your Bryant Stratton Bobcats leading the Edison State Chargers 47-42. I don't have stats on me, but I'll have them at the beginning of the second half. We'll be back here in about 15 minutes with the second half of Bobcat basketball here on Cat TV. Stats from our first half. First with Bobcats. Tariq Roper has 2. Jalen Barnes has 13 so far for the Cats. Jalen Barnes has 10. 4 of them from the free throw line. I'm sorry, 8. Larry Reynolds has 13. Carlos Castro has 6. And Anthony Cook Jr. has 2. For the Chargers, Taiwan Hall. Taiwan Hall has 12. Dixon has 6. Jacob Reed has a 3-pointer. That's about it for the scoring for Edison. Ready to go for the second half. Starters back in the ball game. Cottrell brings the ball up, working on Roper. Reed sets the pick. Ball swung to Reed. Reed down to Howard. Howard working on Terrell. Charging violation. Bobcat ball. Barnes takes it out, gets it to Roper. Back to Roper. Roper down the lane. Nobody picked him up. Pulls up from the free throw line and knocks it down for a quick 2. Good aggressive move to the basket by Tariq Roper. There's Jesse Dixon with the ball now, guarded by Carlos Castro. Castro in for the injured Perry Fulham. Dixon puts up the floater, no good. Tipped out by Jalen Terrell. Down to Roper. Roper to Castro, lays it up with a right hand for 2. Ball's inbounded to Hall. Hall guarded by Reynolds. Down to Jesse Dixon. Jesse Dixon from the corner for 3. Can't get it to drop. Jalen Barnes comes up with the rebound. Barnes working on Hall. Cuts down the lane. Dishes to Jalen Terrell, who can't lay it in, but grabs his own board and puts it up. Time out, Edison State. Bobcats firing on all cylinders here in the first 70 seconds of play. They take a 11-point lead, 53-42. We've seen them score in bunches before, and they came out of the break ready to go. We're ready to go now. Edison State will have the ball, working from left to right now here in the second half. Edison State in the gold with the blue trim. Bobcats in the white with the navy. Cottrell with the ball. Brings it up the floor, gets it to Howard. Howard swings it to Reed in the corner. Reed for 3, gets it to go. Ball's inbounded quickly to Carlos Castro. Castro working with Barnes. Barnes down the baseline, goes all the way through. Up top to Larry Reynolds, back to Roper. Roper cuts the lane. Finds Castro on the wing. Castro thought about it, pulled it back down. Working on Cottrell. He'll pull the ball back out. Good spin move. Gets down the lane, pulls it up right hand. It goes! Good move, Carlos Castro. He's looking for a foul, didn't get it called, but he gets the 2-point bucket. Dixon gets the ball inbounded. Back to Cottrell. Cottrell down to Reed in the corner, who gives it right back. Sends it cross court to Dixon. Dixon guarded by Roper. Sends it back to Reed, near side. Reed for 3. No good. Rebound Dixon, up for 2. He wanted a foul too, got nothing. Ball's inbounded to Roper, who works it to Barnes. Barnes across the timeline. Back to Roper. Roper will set up the offense. Castro, far side, guarded by Reed. Roper cuts through. Wide open lane to the basket, and he lays it in. Hall with the ball. Castro picks him up right at half court. Hall, pull up three. No good. Rebound, Reynolds. Reynolds, other direction, in a hurry. Here's Barnes. Barnes, left hand fadeaway. Can't get it to go. Taiwan Hall comes down with it. Hall all the way the other direction. Tries to lay it up, no good. Jalen Terrell gets the board. Back to Roper. Roper slicing down the lane, flips it up and in! And one. Tariq Roper, what a move! Throws up a circus shot, gets it to fall, and he'll go to the line for a chance for another. What a shot, Tariq Roper, with the left hand and everything. Got bounced around like a pinball, tossed it up with the left hand, got it to kiss off the glass and drop for the bucket and the foul. Roper at the line. Knocks down the free throw to convert on the three-point play. Bobcats up 60-47 now here early in the second half. Reed gets the ball across the timeline, picked up by Roper. Reed still working on Roper. Gets it to Hall, double team. Roper switched with Castro. Hall thought about the pull-up three, cuts down the lane. Terrell makes the shot hard, and ends up getting called for the foul. He was up tall. I think he got him with the body. Hall got him up in the air.
Bryant Stratton fouls number 22, Jalen Terrell.
That's another thing Terrell's done much better this season. He's always been a guy that's going to get his fouls called. He plays in the post. One of the taller guys, but last year it seemed like he was in foul trouble in the first 10 minutes every ball game. He's done a much better job of staying tall, keeping his feet on the ground, and making shots difficult rather than hacking people as they go by. Hall gets both of them to drop. Reynolds takes the ball out and gets it to Barnes. Barnes will set up the offense for the Bobcats. He's guarded by Hall. Swings it to Castro. Castro back up top to Roper. Swings it back to Barnes here near side. Barnes to Reynolds. Reynolds for three. No good. Rebound Curry. Curry gets the ball poked away by Jalen Terrell. Roper comes up with it. Roper cuts down the lane. Has the ball poked. Gets it back to Barnes. Barnes pulls up. No good. Curry with the ball. Hall with the ball. Hall spins around Barnes, gets down the lane, dishes off to Richardson. Richardson across the lane to Dixon. Dixon back out to Reed. Reed for three, nothing. Larry Reynolds gets the board. Absolutely runs over Jacob Reed, but he was moving his feet, so he gets called for the foul.
Edison State fouls number 5, Jacob Reed.
Larry Reynolds is not a guy that you want to get hit by when he's got a full head of steam. We've watched him go down the lane and send people flying. He got a good piece of Jacob Reed there. Reed seems to be all right, but Reynolds is a big boy. Barnes with the ball, far side wing. Hall on him, looks for a cut, puts it on the floor, gets it to Roper. Roper shuffled his feet. That's a travel. Roper don't think so, but we've got it on video. He moves. Ball's inbounded to number 1, Hall. Hall gets around Roper, cuts down the lane, dishes to Richardson, but it gets poked away. Jalen Terrell flips to Jalen Barnes, who lays it up with the left hand. Terrell poked it, came up with it, got it to Barnes, who laid it in for an easy 2 in transition. Bobcats drop back into the man defense. Hall guarded by Roper. Dixon gets called for the offensive charge. He put a pick on Roper and sent him flying. He really wasn't moving. Kind of went through the pick instead of just standing solid. Ball will go back over to the Bobcats here. 15 and a half left to go in the ball game. They lead 62-49. Bobcats looking to start their OCCAC play 4-0 here with a win against Edison. Got to finish this last sort of 15 minutes of basketball strong, and they'll remain on top of the OCCAC standings. Tariq Roper with another beautiful left-handed move to the basket. Jacob Reed picked up by Barnes, swarmed by Bobcat defenders. Back to Reed. Reed cross court. Hall from the corner, gets Castro up in the air, goes around him, puts up the easy 2-pointer. Edison State will call a timeout after the good jump shot.
Timeout, Edison State.
The Bobcats leading by 13, BSC 64, Edison State 51 here at Sister Diana Arena on this beautiful Saturday in December. The ladies will be up next if you want to tune in for that game as well. It'll be right here, hosted on our YouTube channel, Cat TV, BSCOH. If you want to watch that one, all you'll have to do is click out of this video and then click back to our YouTube channel, and the live feed will be there as well. On the same channel, just a different video. We try to keep them organized that way. Each team has their own sort of playlist on the YouTube channel that has all of their games in it. So if you want to watch old games, you can click through there as well. Click the playlists and just click on whichever team you want to watch. We've got baseball games on there from last season, from this season, all of this season's basketball games. Carlos Castro lobbying for something down there. I don't know what he's got. It looks like he may have been saying somebody's holding on to his arm, and the referee just kind of smiles and shakes his head at him. Here come the Bobcats. Terrell to Roper. Roper pull up, no good. Dixon pulls down the board. Dixon bringing it up for the Chargers. Gets it up to Hall. Hall far side, guarded by Larry Reynolds. Hall baseline, spins, puts it up on Terrell, and gets it to go for two. Barnes with the ball, sends it to Roper. Roper, wide open three, no good. Rebound Curry. Curry to Hall. Hall sends it cross court to Reed. Reed thinks about the pull-up three, pulls it back down, goes right in to Jalen Terrell, who did a great job of staying solid. Gets the foul.
Edison State fouls number 5, Jacob Reed.
That's the fourth foul on the Chargers. Bobcats with one so far here in the second half. At the end of this ball game, if the Bobcats can get in foul trouble and the Chargers have to start fouling them, that's kind of where games have ended for opposing teams. The Bobcats, exceptional free throw shooters, as I've mentioned. All three of their guards can really knock them down. Roper for three. Got it! Tariq Roper knocks down another one. Kids having one heck of a ball game. Hall lost the ball, but able to recover. Draws the foul on Larry Reynolds as he tried to cut down the lane.
Bryant and Stratton fouls number 23, Larry Reynolds.
Reed inbounds. Gets it to Hall up top. Hall guarded by Reynolds, 20 on the shot clock. Cuts down the lane. Tries to swing it back out, but Anthony Cook Jr. is long enough to get a piece. Gets it to Tariq Roper, who lays it in on the left side for two more. Roper continues to just terrorize the Edison State Chargers. Taiwan Hall with the ball now. Dixon sets the pick. Roper switches with Reynolds. Reynolds on Dixon now. Cuts down the lane. Guarded by Terrell. Able to shoot up over the top for two. Good bit of shooting there by Jesse Dixon. Barnes has the ball. Barnes sends it to Roper, who gives it right back. Roper to Cook Jr. Back to Barnes, back to Roper. Cross court to Cook, picked off by Curry. Curry gets it to Reed. Reed, spot up three. Back iron. Ball's up. Rebounded by Hall, no good. It's on the floor now. Lots of gold in there. Richardson comes up with it, back to Curry. Sends it back to Reed. Reed from the corner. Sends it back to Dixon. Dixon from the wing. Rebound Richardson. Back to Dixon, coming down the lane. Sends it to Hall in the corner. Hall with Terrell on him. Goes baseline, draws a push. Jalen Terrell got a little aggressive with the defense. Got a piece of Hall down on the baseline. Gets called for the foul. Hall will take the ball out of bounds. 10 on the shot clock now. Cottrell checks back in for the Edison State Chargers. Flips it into Dixon, over top Terrell. Cook Jr. gets a piece. He's got Barnes wide open. Barnes coming the other way. Lays it up with the right hand for two. So Anthony Cook Jr. with the long arms has gotten a piece of a couple of passes from the Edison State Chargers here. Turned it into a couple easy points. Ball's bounced around. Barnes ends up with it. Good spin move on Dixon. Goes right around him. Dribbles through the lane. Gets it up to Roper to set up the offense. Sends it back to Barnes far side. Barnes with Curry on him. Barnes down the lane. Under the basket. Up top to Cook Jr. Cook Jr. for three. It's good!
Anthony Cook Jr. for three!
Bobcats continue to shoot the lights out from behind the arc today. Unfortunately, I don't have the stats for you. But we can just say they've hit a lot. How's that? Cottrell to Dixon. Dixon from just outside the lane. Missed everything. Jalen Terrell comes down with the board. Sends it to Barnes. Barnes cuts through the lane. Has a lane. He walked. I think it was more of a slide than a walk. He tried to plant on that foot and just couldn't get it to stick. Edison State with the ball now. Here comes Cottrell across the timeline, guarded by Roper. Cottrell comes off a pick from Dixon, sends it to Curry, who sends it to Reed in the corner. Reed, off a pick from Richardson, cuts down the lane, has the ball tipped. Anthony Cook Jr., who else, comes up with it. Cook Jr. pushes the ball into the body of Richardson, but it got poked away before the foul. It'll be Bobcat ball on the baseline. Whole herd of substitutions. Sokolowski comes back in for the Bobcats. Reynolds will take a seat. Looks like Phillips, Howard, and Litton come back in for the Chargers. Carlos Castro checks in late for the Bobcats. He'll take over for Jalen Barnes. Castro inbounds. Gets it to Terrell. Castro sneaks behind Terrell. Pulls up from the corner. No good. Rebound Sokolowski. He had gold jerseys all over him and still came down with the ball. Not sure what our issue is here. I don't know if they got a shot clock thing. It looks like it. I mean, that ball hit the backboard, hit the rim, so it should have reset. Gone back to 20 on the rebound. Maybe they were late with the reset. We had an issue with the game clock, and now we're having some trouble with it. We wanted 20 minutes back on the game clock, and now we're at 20 seconds. So Edison State would not be happy with that. All right, we're good now. Ball's inbounded, 14 on the shot clock. Roper with the ball. Up top, guarded by Cottrell. Terrell sets a pick. Roper for three. Can't get it to drop, but Terrell pulls down the board, lays it in for two. Good cleanup on the glass, Jalen Terrell. Chargers coming the other way. Ball forwarded to Phillips. Phillips back to Cottrell up top. Cottrell working on Roper. Can't get around him. Traveled Tried to get a little fancy with the pass to Hall, but shuffled his feet before he got the ball out of his hand. Carlos Castro with the ball now. Brings it up for the Bobcats. Sends it to Roper. Cottrell on him, face guard. Roper makes a move, pull up from the corner, gets it to go, and one! What a move, Tariq Roper! Cottrell was jawing with him before the play started. Tariq Roper went right at him. Went down the lane, pulled up, got pushed over, and hit the basket. There was a technical foul called after it. I'm not sure if it was on Roper or Cottrell. Looks like Roper may have been called for it. Didn't do anything malicious, just let him know.
Clark State fouls number 4, Montana Cottrell.
Referee's going to get this sorted out for us.
Technical fouls on Ryan Stratton, number 0, Tariq Roper.
Yeah, Roper called for the tech. Hall hits the first one. Knocks them both down. Roper will go shoot his free throw now. Again, don't have live stats today, but Roper's got to have at least 15. He's been killing the Chargers here in the second half. Knocks down his free throw, and we're back to basketball. Edison State inbounds to Phillips. Phillips brings it up, Sokolowski on top of him. Back to Cottrell up top. Cottrell working on Roper. Cottrell goes to the basket. Cook Jr. Still being real long. Got that one with a foot, though. It'll go kick, so it'll stick with Edison State on the baseline. Roper will take a seat. Jalen Barnes will check back in for him. Ball inbounded to Hall. Hall pulls up for 3 from the corner. No good. Barnes pulls it down immediately after checking back in. Cottrell picks him up, sends it to Cook Jr. Cook Jr. down from the block, lays it up for 2.
Anthony Cook Jr.
Ball inbounded to Cottrell. Barnes picks him up in the backcourt. Cottrell lost the handle a little bit. Barnes stays right with him. Ball sent to Howard here near side. Guarded by Jalen Terrell. Howard picks up the dribble. Sends it to 22. Litton, who can't hold on to it. Goes right through his hands out of bounds. Bobcats will take over. So Castro inbounds to Barnes. Bobcats lead 81-57 here in the second half. Under 10 to go now. Castro with the ball. He's way long. Thought about it. Pulled it back down. Working on Hall. Cuts down the lane. Moves with the left hand. Gets it to go. Carlos Castro lays it up with the left and draws the foul on the way to the hoop. Carlos Castro getting in on the action now. He watched Tariq Roper get nifty with the left hand and wanted a piece of that as well. He'll go to the line now to try to complete the three-point play. Castro knocks down the free throw. Bobcats lead 84-57 now. 9 minutes left to play. Ball inbounded to Cottrell. Double team. Barnes and Castro. Sends it to Hall. Hall with Terrell on him. Pulls up from 3. No good, but the ball's tapped back out to him. Hall down the lane. Throws it down with authority. Barnes is going to slow it down a little bit now. He's guarded by Hall. Loses the handle. Able to grab it. Hall comes back with it. Working on Barnes. Lays it up for 2. So Hall with a quick 4 points. Gets the Chargers a little closer. 84-61 now. Barnes forwards it to Cook Jr. Sends it back to Castro, who swings it to Barnes. Barnes cuts, step back, two-pointer. Can't get it to go, but Ethan Sokolowski got a piece, but he was on top of Phillips' back. That'll be a foul on Sokolowski.
Brian Stratton fouls number 11, Ethan Sokolowski.
Cottrell has the ball now. Barnes guarding him. Castro takes away Phillips. Out to Howard. Howard from the corner. No good. Rebound by Hall. Hall able to put it back up and in. Taiwan Hall having a great game for Edison State. He's kind of been everywhere. Ball sent to Sokolowski. Down low. He lays it up for two. Good look, Carlos Castro, to find Sokolowski with a clear lane to the basket. Cottrell swings to Phillips. Phillips has his pocket picked by Sokolowski. Here comes Cook Jr. Jr. down the lane, lays it up right hand, gets it to roll.
Cook Jr.
Howard with the ball, coming the other direction, picked up by Terrell. Howard, bounce pass to Hall. Terrell comes up with it, gets it to Barnes. Barnes to Cook Jr. Cook Jr. working on Cottrell, lays it up for two more.
Cook Jr.
Howard has the ball forwarded. Barnes dribbled it once for him, but Howard able to keep hold of it. The three-pointer from Phillips from the corner is no good. Howard's able to grab it, lay it up for two. Castro with the ball, brings it up for the Bobcats. Hall grabs him. Castro's going to slow it down some, sends it to Barnes. Back to Cook, back to Castro. Castro to Barnes. Barnes cuts through, back down to the corner. That's gotta be a foul on Phillips. He's all over him. They just call it one out of bounds, so it'll be Bobcat ball with 10 seconds on the shot clock. No, Bobcats one foul away from shooting free throws. Well, I guess one Charger foul away from shooting free throws with 7 minutes left here in the second half. As I mentioned before, that's spelled doom for many other opposing teams. Bobcats getting Bobcats getting the bonus early and can really do some work at the free throw line. Reynolds with the ball now. And there's that foul we were looking for, so Larry Reynolds will go shoot 1-and-1. That foul is on number 3, Jordan Howard for Edison State. We'll see what the Bobcats can do from the free throw line here in the last 7 minutes of play. And the way that Roper and Barnes and even Carlos Castro have been working into the paint here in the second half, getting in the bonus early could be a huge game changer for the Bobcats, who are already working with quite the lead, 91-65. Well on their way to breaking their high score for the season. Reynolds knocks down both of them, 92-65 now Bobcats. Ball's inbounded to Cottrell. Cottrell works down the sideline. Barnes able to stick with him. Cottrell cuts out to Hall. Hall for three. I'm sorry, that's Howard. In the scoring table?
Look at the table. Abby said that the school said that there might be some in there.
How do you
Clark against State fouls number 1, Taiwan Hall.
I don't know. She just said there might be some in the table.
look around the scoring table, and if you can't find anything, we would really love it if you could go grab some batteries.
Do you need double or triple?
Double A.
Double A?
Just get a pack of like 8, and I'll give you $10 for it or whatever. Thank you. Carlos Castro will go to the line to shoot for the Bobcats. He knocks down the first one. They're having some issues with the microphone at the table. We've got dead batteries out here, so some of the lovely ladies from my softball team are going to go get us some batteries so we don't lose our PA announcer, the beautiful, sultry voice of Caleb Swisher for the girls' game. Castro knocks down the second. Bobcats continue to be fantastic from the charity stripe. Number 12, Glenn Dalby checks in for the Cats now. Hall with the ball. Reynolds picks his pocket. Larry Reynolds coming the other way, picked up by Cottrell. Reynolds down the lane, gets it to Roper. Roper comes around the basket, can't get it to drop. Reynolds on the glass, puts it up, no good. It thought about it, it sat up there for a second, thought it might drop in, but decides no. Larry Reynolds will go to the line to shoot 2 anyway. Bobcats in the double bonus now.
24, Landon Henry.
It's a shooting foul anyway, so Reynolds has 2 from the line. Knocks down the first one. Bobcat lead now pushed to 20. And Reynolds knocks down the second. So Dixon and Richardson will check back in for the Chargers. Six minutes left to go in this game. Still a lot can happen. The Bobcats have put themselves in a good position to start 4-0 here on the season. Hall with the ball, far side wing, guarded by Reynolds. Cuts the lane, back out to Cottrell. Cottrell for three. No good. Ball's tipped by Dabley, but Lennon comes down with it. Sends it to Cottrell up top, back to Hall. Hall doubled by Dabley and Reynolds. Still with the ball, back to Cottrell. Cottrell swings it to Richardson, who's across court to Litton. Litton from three. No good, grabs his own board. Spins into the lane, can't get it to go. Ethan Sokolowski finally able to come down with it for the Bobcats. Sokolowski coming the other way in a hurry. Goes all the way, can't get it. Cook Jr. right there. Reynolds grabs it and he'll come out, just back it out of the paint. Pulls up from the elbow, drops it in for two. Interesting play there by the Bobcats, but Reynolds ends up putting it in the bottom of the hoop for another 2-point basket. Hall walks the ball up for the Chargers, has the ball tipped by Dabley. Dabley with the ball, coming the other way, sends it forward to Roper. Roper, right hand, no good, tipped in by Cook with the follow. Good transition help there by Anthony Cook Jr. to get another basket. 3 inches from the hoop, that's where he seems to do his best work. Roper on Cottrell. Cottrell throws it up with the right hand and gets it to fall. Good move there by Cottrell. Timeout Edison State.
Timeout Edison State.
Bobcats have hit 100 with just under 5 to play. Wish I had stats for you, I don't. I'll try to get something here. At the start of the girls' game, I'll get another picture of the scorebook and let you know who the leading scorers were and all that. The girls will be playing at the end of this ball game, so about 2 or 3 minutes after the boys wrap up, I'll have the girls' game started. The ladies will be playing at the 3 o'clock start today, or around 3 o'clock, depending how quickly this game finishes up. Bobcats on the floor, Anthony Cook Jr., Larry Reynolds, Tariq Roper, Glenn Dabley, and Ethan Sokolowski. Sokolowski inbounds to Roper. Roper will be guarded by Cottrell out here in the back. Cottrell on him tight. Roper sends it to Sokolowski. Sokolowski guarded by Curry. Here's Cook Jr. from the elbow. Up for two. Good ball movement by the Bobcats. Cook Jr. came off the pick, got the ball at the elbow, hit the turnaround jumper for two. Curry sends it to Cottrell. Cottrell brings it near side. Cottrell on Roper, cuts down the lane. Picked up by Sokolowski, who draws the foul, who gets called for the foul.
Brian Stratton fouls number 11, Ethan Sokolowski.
That'll send Montana Cottrell to the line. Sokolowski called for the foul. Cottrell's first one's in and out, no good. The second one rattles around and falls in. Substitution for the Chargers. We'll put a halt on the game for a minute. Landon Henry checks back in. Ball's inbounded to Roper. Roper with Curry on him. Throws it ahead to Ethan Sokolowski. Sokolowski out to Cook. Cook for three. No good. Sokolowski with the board. Sends it up top to Larry Reynolds. Reynolds picked up by Richardson. Cuts the lane. Pump fake. Puts it up with the right hand. Draws the foul. He'll go to the line to shoot two.
Edison State fouls number 33, Elias Richardson.
knocks down the first. Joel Mora will check back in. We'll check in for the first time tonight for the Bobcats. Tariq Roper will take a seat. Reynolds hits the second. Larry Reynolds got to be close to 20 points today, too, if he hasn't topped it. He's got at least 8 from the free throw line here in the second half. Had 13 to start, so he's definitely over 20. Julius Van checks back in for the Cats. Here's Litton from the corner. Can't get it to go. Richardson comes down with the board. I think Mora's been called for the foul 5 seconds after checking into the ball game. Yeah, foul's on Mora.
Bryant Stratton fouls number 33, Joel Mora.
Richardson will go to the line to shoot 1 and 1. They call it down on the floor. Can't hit. Sokolowski comes up with the board. Sokolowski will work the point for the Bobcats. Julius Van comes up to grab it. Van with 22, Jaden Litton guarding him. Tries to get the ball to Cook. It gets tapped away by Dixon. Bobcats will remain in possession. So Cook Jr. will take the ball out of bounds. 13 on the shot clock. 3:30 left to play. Inballed into Dalby. And Dalby dribbles around. He'll go to the line to shoot 2 for the Bobcats. Fouls on number 22, Jaden Litton.
Edison State fouls on number 22, Jaden Litton.
Dabbley's first one's no good. He hits the second. Dabbley's in the scorebook. Ball's inbounded to Curry. Sends it over to Henry. Henry to Litton. Litton cross court. Here's Curry for 3. Had Dabley in his face. Rebounded by Henry, but he's fouled. I'm sorry, that's Jaden Litton, number 22. Litton will go to the line to shoot 1 and 1 for the Edison State Chargers. Todd James will check in for Anthony Cook Jr. Litton knocks down the first one. He'll get one more. And sinks the second as well. Bobcats up 105-70 now here, 3 minutes to play. Van brings the ball up. Guarded by Litton. Van cuts, pops. Can't get it to go. Rebound Dobley. Good fight down on the block. Gets it back to Van. Van swings to Sokolowski. Sokolowski works off a pick. Back to Mora. Mora for 2. No good. Rebound Sokolowski. Sokolowski back to Mora. Puts it on the floor. Gets it up with the left hand. Can't get it to drop. He was in a lot of traffic. Henry with the ball. Brings it up for the Chargers. Sends it to Litton. Litton from the corner. No good. Rebound Sokolowski. Sokolowski has the ball picked off by Dixon. Dixon goes to the hole. Draws the foul. A little shaken up. It's like him and Glenn Dabley. Feeling that one a little bit. Might have bumped knees. That's never fun.
Bryant Stratton fouls number 12, Glenn Dabley.
Dixon hits the first one. The second one's no good. Todd James comes flying in for the rebound. Gets the ball quickly to Julius Van. Van picked up by Henry. Henry picks up the defense, gets it to Sokolowski. Sokolowski cuts down the lane, puts it up, left hand, it's good! Ethan Sokolowski, good strong move to the basket for 2. Ball swung cross court to Henry. Henry with Mora on him. Henry spins, shoots. Sokolowski grabs it. Here comes Ethan. Pulls the ball out, gets it to Julius Van. 1:40 on the clock now. Comes off a pick by Dabley. Sends it to Todd James in the corner. James goes baseline, puts it up, right hand, no good. Sokolowski's there to grab it, can't get it to go himself. Richardson comes down with the board for the Chargers. Here comes Edison State the other direction. Dixon from the corner. Sokolowski got a piece of it, but it goes right to Richardson, who lays it in for 2 for the Chargers. 107-73 Bobcat lead. Van brings it up, just over a minute to play here, left in this ball game. Van gets it to Todd James. James cuts down the lane, left hands, can't get it over top the rim. Richardson grabs the rebound, gives it to Henry. Henry throws baseball pass to Litton. Litton back to Curry, back to Litton. Litton for 3 from the corner. Rebound get Glenn Dabley. Forward to Todd James. Todd James, full head of steam, gets it knocked away. James looked like he was lining up to slam that one home, but had the ball knocked out of his hands before he was able to do so. Dabley will take it out of bounds. Inbounds to Mora. Mora on Richardson. Spins, puts it up right hand, off the glass, gets it to drop. Joel Mora gets himself a bucket.
Joel Mora!
Here's Henry for 3. No good. Mora with the rebound. Gets it to Van with 36 on the clock. Van guarded by Phillips. Dribbles around, gets it back up to Dabley up top. Dabley for 3. It's good!
Dabley for 3!
15 left on the clock. Looks like this one will just get dribbled out. Glenn Dabley puts the exclamation point at the end of this one. Knocks down a 3 for the Bobcats. 10 left on the clock. And that'll do it. Bobcats move to 4-0 in the OCCAC as they knock off the Edison State Chargers 112-73.
112, Edison State 73. Ladies and gentlemen, please stick around for the women's game between the Edison State Chargers and your Brighton Stratton Bobcats, which will begin in approximately 15 to 20 minutes. Thank you.
Unfortunately, I don't have stats for this game like I've mentioned a few times, but if you give me 2 days for us to get the stats back from Huddle, we'll be using Huddle Assist for this ball game. I will have a recap of today's game on our website, ohio.bscbobcats.com. All the stats will be in there, as will the stat sheet, so you can just go through that if you would like to. But that'll do it for us here from Sister Diana Athletic Arena for our men's team. As mentioned, Bobcats take care of business. They moved to 4-0 in the OCCAC, winning the ball game 112-73 over the Edison State Chargers. The women coming up next. We'll be back here about 20 minutes. If you'd like to watch that game as well, all you got to do is click out of the tab here, go back to our YouTube channel. Give me about 90 seconds to get the next game started. Click into that one and you can follow along. I'm Ryan Bliss, SID at Bryant & Stratton. If you liked this feed, give me a thumbs up down here at the bottom of the video. Thank you. Have a great rest of your weekend, and go Cats.